Good day once again. So we are back in our classroom. Today we will be talking about rational algebraic expressions from our Module 2, Lesson 1. So let's begin our lesson sa translating algebraic expressions. Kabaw na mo ani sa inyong previous lesson pag grade 7, this will serve as a review. So in solving word problems, it is very important that we can translate the word problem into an algebraic expression. This will serve as a review on your grade 7 lessons. Para sa addition, the sign for addition, of course, we have the plus sign. Here are the keywords or common keywords for addition. We can have sum, more than, plus, increased by, 9, older than, or raised by. So since addition has the commutative property, pwede na magbali-bali ang terms within the algebraic expression. For example, the sum of 3 and a number. So the word here, a number, atong gigamit ang letter N para mo represent sa number. You can have any letter in the alphabet as your variable. In this case, N lang ang atong gigamit. So when you say the sum of 3 and a number, pwede nato na siya isuwat as N plus 3 or pwede nato balihon 3 plus N because it will have the same answer. For example, we say 5 plus 2. We can have an answer of 7. Kung atong balihon, maingon na sad tag 2 plus 5, dili mausab ang atong answer. It is still 7. So, the next example, 7 more than a number. Again, a number here is represented by N. Pero pwede na siya na bisag unsa na letter sa alphabet ang imong gamiton. So, 7 more than a number, we can write that as N plus 7 or 7 plus N. Third one, a number plus 2. So we can write that as N plus 2 or 2 plus N. Next keyword, increased by. A number increased by 8. So, pwede na ito masuwat as N plus 8 or 8 plus N. Next, we have add, the very common or the most common term or keyword for addition. 9, add 9 to a number. So we can have that as N plus 9 or 9 plus N. And lastly, we have, or second to the last, Joe is 9 years older than Drew, who is N years old. So the keyword here is older, mas maguwang. So obviously, atong gamiton na operation ani is addition. So Joe is 9 years older than Drew, who is N years old. So how will you show that in an equation? We can write that as N plus 9. Asa gikan si N? Tara. N here represents the age of Drew. So, atong gipangita ang age ni Joe. So, mingon tag N plus 9. Or pwede sad 9 plus N, you will get the same answer, pero para mas specific or mas maayo ninyo pagka-translate ang kanina problem, ang atong gamiton lang is N plus 9. Lastly, we have Jenna's salary is raised by $120. So, ang sweldo daw ni Jenna, nag-represent sa letter S, gipasakaan by 120, gipasakaan og 120. So, ato nang masuwat as S plus 120. Again, kung imo nang isuwat na 120 plus S, parihara na siya answer. Pero para mas nindot na to pag-translate or mas accurate na to pag-translate ang word problem, atong gamiton is S plus 120. For subtraction, so unsay mga keywords sa subtraction? Naatay minus, less than, subtract, decreased by, younger than, or lowered by. So, moingon tag a number minus 6. Igsuwat na to ana, again, a number here is represented by the letter N. Pwede rin siya bisag unsa na letter, but for the sake of this example, N lang ang atong gigamit. So, a number minus 6, pwede na to na siya isuwat as N minus 6. Now, dili ni siya pariha sa addition na pwede na to ibali-bali ang terms. Kaya masayop man tag answer. Let's say for example, moingon ta og 5 minus 1, that is equal to 4. Kung ato nang balihon, 1 minus 5, lahi na ang atong answer, dili na 4. It will be negative 4. So, since dili man siya parihag answer, meaning di ay, dili na to pwede bali-balihon ang terms sa subtraction. So, we have to be very careful in translating algebraic expressions, especially if nag-involve siya og operation na subtraction. Let's look at the next example. 9 less than a number. So, magunahuna ka, 9 minus n siguro ni. But, if you analyze the word or the phrase less than, 9, gikuhaan og 9 ang number. Mao man ay translation ani na phrase, gikuhaan og 9 ang number. So, meaning, igsuwat na to ana, ang number, gikuha ag 9. N minus 9. So, medyo libog siya gamay, but just remember this example or this phrase, less than. Kung less than gani, ang nag-una na number, maunay nasa last or uwahi nga part sa expression. Another one, subtract 10 from a number. So, kung ato i-translate og Bisaya, kuhaig G's ang number. So, you will write that as n minus 10. Kay gikwaan man natog G's ang number. So, dili na to na siya isuwat as 10 minus n. Kay marong na ta. Okay. Next one, a number decreased by 5. Ang number gikuhaan og 5. So, you will write that as n minus 5. Next, we have Joe is 9 years younger than Drew, who is n years old. Parihara ni sa example sa addition, but this time, ang keyword gigamit is younger than. So, taon man nato ni pagsuwat. Mahihimo na siyang n minus 9, ang edad ni Joe. Last one. Jenna's salary, S, is lowered by 120. So, ganina raised by man to. So, gipasakaan. Karon, ang iyang sweldo, gipaubsan daw og 120. So, iyang sweldo, gikuhaan og 120. So, that is S minus 120. Okay, second part for subtraction. Subtraction is not commutative. So, you must be careful in the order in which you write the algebraic expression. Because as what I've said, di ni siya pwede bali-balihon. Now, let's take a look at how the same keywords are used to write a different expression. So, the same keywords atong gigamit, minus, less, subtract, decrease, younger than. Pero, lahi na example. So, maingon tag, 6 minus a number. Dili na ni siya n minus 6, kung di 6 minus n. Next one, 9 less a number. This is now 9 minus n. So, mangutana mo, nga nung wala man gibali, ma'am? If you look at the example a while ago, the keyword was less than. In this case, ang gigamit ra niya is the word less only. So, meaning, subtract ra na gid siya. Diretso ra na nimog subtract. So, 9 minus n jud na siya. Next one, subtract a number from 10. So, kuhaig number si 10. So, this becomes 10 minus n. Next, we have 5 decreased by a number. Si 5, gipaubsan gamit ang number. Kaya wam ta kay bawon sa number at nung gi-represent og n. So, this becomes 5 minus n. And lastly, Drew is n years younger than Joe, who is 9 years old. So, we will write that as 9 minus n. For multiplication, we have different keywords. So, we have the word times, product, twice, doubled, multiplied by, or of. So, when we say 5 times a number, since multiplication, mura ni siya og addition, bisag bali-balihon nimo ang terms, parihara ang resulta. So, when you say 2 times 5, ang answer nimo ana is 10. Kung imo balihon, moingon sad kag 5 times 2, ang answer nimo ana 10 ra gihapon. So, pwede ni siya bali-balihon. So, when we say 5 times a number, we can write that as 5 times n or n times 5 or simply 5n. Pwede na, di na to gamiton ang dot since this is a number and a letter. Automatic, if nagtupad ang number og letter, as what you have learned sa inyong grade 7, ang operation ana is multiplication. Okay, next one. The product of 3 and a number. So, how will you write that? You can have that as 3 times n or n times 3 or simply 3n. We have twice a number. So, when we say twice, since kaila jud mo unsa ning twice, that is just multiplied by 2. So, n or 2 times n or n times 2 or simply 2n. Another, we have a number doubled. So, pareha sa twice, ang doubled, gidubli ra or gikaduha. So, you can also write that as 2 times n or n times 2 or simply 2n. A number multiplied by 9. So, we will write that as n times 9 or 9 times n or simply 9n. Lastly, 2/3 of a number. So, when we say of, multiplication, dyan na siya. So, you can write that as 2/3. You can have the fraction form kanang patakilid or pwede sad kanang naanda na to na fraction form na pabarog. So, 2/3 times n or you can simply write that as 2/3 n. So, mao na ang mga keywords for multiplication. This time, arita og division. So, what are the key terms for division? Gamay ra ni ang sa division. We have divided by and divided into. So, kaning divided by, mo ni ang pinaka-common term na atong gigamit. Unya, og paspason pag yun nato nigstorya, di nato tarungon og sulti, di ta masabtan, maingon na tag divide by. So, dili na siya divide by. That is divided by. So, let's have this example. A number divided by 2, we have n over 2. Or, pwede na to na siya isuwat gamit ang division symbol, n divided by 2. Pwede sad in fraction form na pabarog, n over 2. That is still the same. Next, 4 divided into a number. So, ang number ang gi-divide og 4. So, you can write that as n divided by 4 or n over 4. Here, division is not commutative. So, pareha ni siya sa subtraction na dili pwede bali-balihon ang terms kay mausab ang imong answer. So, you must be careful with the order in which you write the algebraic expression. Take a look at how the same keywords are used to write a different expression. So, pareha ra ang keywords, divided by ug divided into. So, this time, gibali na to 2 divided by a number, you will write that as 2 over n. A number divided into 4, so you will write that as 4 over n. How about expressions having more than one operation? So in this case, kailangan na jud nimo gamiton ang imong analysis powers. So dapat kay bawo ka mo analyze sa mga terms na gigamit sa English or word problem. So let's take a look at these 3 examples. John has 3 more than 4 times as many pencils P than Joe. So naatay duha ka operation na gigamit diri. So what is the first keyword? We have more than. The second keyword is times. Moingon galit tag more than, the operation involved is addition. Moingon tag times, the operation involved is multiplication. So unsaon man nato na pagsuwat? Si John kuno has 3 more than. Tulo na mas labaw kaysa sa kang Joe na lapis. So si John mas labaw iyang lapis og tulo. Pila may lapis ni Joe? Ang lapis ni Joe kanina phrase. 4 times as many pencils. P here, represents pencils. So, mingon tag 4 times P, 4P ra na siya. So, ang lapis ni Joe kay 4P. Nya, mas labaw man daw ang lapis ni John. So, this is 4P plus 3. Or 4 times as many plus 3 more. So, next example, we have 8 times a number n, decreased by 3. So, natay duha ka operation gigamit. We have times and decreased by. Times gali, that is multiply. Decreased by, that is subtract. So, 8 times a number. Igsuwat na to, ana. We can write that as 8 times. You can also use parenthesis para mo indicate og multiplication. So, 8 times a number or simply 8n decreased by. So, decreased by operation niya is subtract. So, minus 3. So, the answer is 8n minus 3. Last example. The sum of 2/3 of a number n and 9. So, ang sum, that is, the operation involved is addition. 2/3 of operation involved is multiplication. So, 2/3 of a number can be written as 2/3 n. Or, kung atong pabarog pagsuwat, 2/3 n. Or 2/3 times n. Since we are talking about sum, so the sum of 2/3 n and 9. So, this becomes 2/3 n plus 9. So, all of these examples can be found in this source. If you want to see more examples, you can also search the internet para mas makakita mo laing examples of word problems using algebraic expressions. This time, aritag rational algebraic expressions. So, kung tanaw na to, naatay mga examples dire. So, naatay 2a divided by 3b, 4t squared divided by t minus 5, w squared minus 6v over w plus v, 2 over 5r minus p, c minus 7 over 9d, and x squared minus 15x. So, atong i-analyze ang mga examples na gihatag. The first question, are the numerators polynomials? So, kung moingon tag numerators, ang number na nasa ibabaw sa fraction bar, puros ba sila polynomials tanan? Yes. Let's look at the last example. Dili man ni siya fraction. Okay, so remember, if this is the case, whole numbers, or in this case, a polynomial, always has an imaginary denominator which is 1. So, tanang whole numbers, naagi na siya denominator na 1. So, in this case, ang numerator becomes x squared minus 15x. So, polynomial ba na siya? The answer is yes. Polynomial ang tanang numerators. Second question, are the denominators polynomials? So, kung tanaw na to ang denominators or ang numbers or expressions na nasa ubos sa fraction bar, polynomial ba sila? The answer is yes, polynomial gyapon sila. Number 3, are all the expressions in the form of a ratio of two polynomials? So, moingon tag ratio, atong may numduman siguro sa atong grade 6, ratio is represented by this or this symbol, kaning colon na symbol. So, may tag the ratio of A and B. Now, let's remember, ratio can also be symbolized using the fraction bar. So, pwede sad ta moingon na the ratio of A and B or A divided by B. So, balik ta sa pangutana, are the expressions in the form of a ratio of two polynomials? The answer is yes. Ratio siya sa polynomial sa numerator o polynomial sa denominator. Question 4. What do you call these expressions? So, kay ratio man siya sa duha ka polynomials or duha ka algebraic expressions, obviously, the answer is rational algebraic expressions. That is our topic for today. How will you define rational algebraic expressions? Based on this activity, makaingon ta na, ang rational algebraic expression di ay kay ratio sa duha ka polynomials. So, So that is a rational algebraic expression. It is the ratio of two polynomials. So a rational algebraic expression is a ratio of two polynomials provided that, so naa siya kondisyon, provided that the denominator is not equal to 0. Dapat dili 0 si denominator. In symbols, we have P over Q, where P and Q are polynomials and Q is not equal to 0. So let's take a look at the three examples here. 2x squared over x to the power, raised to the power of 2/3. So, let's analyze this expression. Ang numerator, polynomial. Pero ang denominator, dili siya polynomial. Therefore, dili ni siya rational algebraic expression. Kay dapat ang numerator ug ang denominator, they are both polynomials. Pero dili man polynomial si denominator, dili ni rational algebraic expression. Next example, x plus 1 over the square root of x. In this case, si numerator, again, polynomial, pero si denominator, dili na sad siya polynomial. So, dili sad ni siya rational algebraic expression. Kaya naaman siya na siya square root sign. So, dili ni siya rational algebraic expression. Third one, si numerator, 3f over 5h minus 5h. Si numerator, polynomial. Si denominator, polynomial sad. Pero, kung mag-analyze ta, 5h minus 5h, that is just equal to 0 man. Nya, nigingon man diri, the denominator is not equal to 0. So, therefore, dili sad ni siya polynomial. Kay dapat ang dili sad ni siya rational algebraic expression. Kay ang iyang denominator is 0. So, dapat polynomial ang numerator ug denominator and the denominator kay dili 0. This time, let us try to apply what we have learned kung unsa ang mga rational algebraic expressions. So, let's take a look at the examples. First one, we have 8 minus p over 3b. So, atong i-analyze, polynomial ba ang numerator? Yes. Polynomial ba ang denominator? Yes. So, rational algebraic expression is siya. The second one, n squared over the square root of m. Polynomial ba ang numerator? Oo. Pero kung tanaw naton denominator, dili siya polynomial. So, dili ni rational algebraic expression. Ikatulo, p plus 6 over 4 plus p. So, ang numerator o ang denominator puros polynomial niya dili equal og 0. So, rational algebraic expression is siya. Ikaapat, 9m minus p over 3bc to the power of 2/3. So, polynomial ang numerator pero ang denominator dili. So, dili ni siya rational algebraic expression. Ika-5, mo squared over 9a minus bc to the power of 5. Polynomial ang numerator, polynomial ang denominator, ug dili siya 0, so rational algebraic expression gihapon siya. Lastly, p over 4 minus 4. Polynomial si numerator, kay pwede ra one term ang polynomial, that is called a monomial. Si denominator, 4 minus 4, ma-equal man ni siya og 0, so dili ni siya pwede. So this is not a rational algebraic expression. So mo to tong topic today. I hope na naamoy na sabtan sa ato ang lessons or sa ato ang discussions karong adlaw. If naa pa mo'y pangutana, pwede ninyo i-comment sa ubos or pwede ko ninyong i-message gamit ang inyong messenger para sa katong mga students na under sa ako ang klase. And I hope nakatabang ko ninyo sa pag-answer ninyo sa inyong modules. See you next time!